Hello, welcome to ES Immigration News. We have breaking news that immigration enforcement has reached previously unheard of heights under the Trump administration. There has been some cases where the Trump administration is silently deporting the immigrants without giving them a chance to submit their cases in immigration courts. The targets have not only been undocumented individuals, but even legal U.S. residents. A growing number of green card holders are now facing unexpected detentions, intense interrogations, and in some cases, pressure to voluntarily surrender their green cards without the slightest delay in your overstays. We have got two cases have put a spotlight on this alarming trend. Fabian Schmidt, a 34-year-old German national and lawful U.S. permanent resident, was detained at Boston Logan International Airport upon returning from a short trip abroad. Additionally, Indian green card holders, a senior citizen who traveled to India for extended periods of time, are being closely examined at American airports. Some have reported being coerced into signing documents that relinquish their permanent resident status, with immigration officers alleging they have abandoned their U.S. residency. And could this be a warning sign for thousands of green card holders in America today? Let's find out. Early last month, Fabian Schmidt, a 34-year-old electrical engineer and legal U.S. resident, found himself at the center of an unexpected immigration nightmare. After returning from a short trip to Germany, Schmidt landed in Boston on March 7th, expecting to reunite with his family. Instead, he was stopped at the airport, questioned for hours, and later taken into custody by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Days later, he was transferred to the Wyatt Detention Center in Rhode Island. His mother and partner were left in the dark, unaware of what had happened or why he was being detained. Schmidt's mother, Astrid Sr., has been living in the United States since 2007 and became a legal resident alongside her son in 2008. Immigration authorities have remained tight-lipped, citing privacy regulations and refusing to disclose details about Schmidt's case. Though later it was reported, not officially, that the German immigrant has open DUI cases. When Schmidt did not show up, his partner, Bhavani Hodgkins, who had been waiting to pick him up at the airport, was met with silence. Hodgkins, desperate for information, called the police, only to learn a few days later that Schmidt had been transferred to a detention center without any apparent reason. As the family scrambled to hire legal representation, Schmidt's ordeal highlighted a broader issue, a rising pattern of intensified scrutiny and detention of legal permanent residents by U.S. immigration authorities. The case is not an isolated incident. At U.S. airports, green card holders are increasingly being subjected to prolonged interrogations, secondary inspections, and even overnight detentions, according to immigration lawyers nationwide. Some people are forced to sign documents that could cause them to voluntarily give up their residency status for even the smallest mistake, which could have long-term consequences. This growing trend has sparked concerns about the rights of lawful permanent residents under the Trump administration's aggressive immigration policies. An increasing number of green card holders are being flagged for further scrutiny, according to experts, especially those who travel frequently or spend a lot of time abroad. Some are even being asked to voluntarily relinquish their green cards under the pretext of abandonment of residency. Kripa Upadhyay, a Seattle-based immigration attorney, has urged caution, emphasizing that a green card cannot be revoked at the border unless the individual willingly surrenders it. The individual has the right to challenge the allegation in court, she notes, even if immigration officials assert that the individual has abandoned their U.S. residency. However, if they sign Form I-407, they effectively waive that right, often without fully understanding the consequences. The case of Schmidt shines a harsh light on the legal grey areas that many permanent residents find themselves navigating. His mother insists that he has no active legal issues that would justify his detention. Though he faced misdemeanor charges nearly a decade ago while living in California, those matters were resolved, and he has maintained a clean record since. So why was he detained? And why have immigration officials refused to provide clarity on his situation? The lack of transparency has led to growing speculation about shifting immigration enforcement tactics. Under the Trump administration, border enforcement has been ramped up significantly, with a strong emphasis on identifying and removing individuals deemed to be in violation of immigration laws. But the troubling part, this crackdown appears to be affecting individuals who have lived in the U.S. legally for years, raising fears that even permanent residents are no longer safe from sudden detainment and deportation proceedings. Schmidt's detention has drawn international attention, with the German embassy in Washington, D.C., acknowledging awareness of the case and engaging with U.S. officials to seek more information. However, privacy and data protection laws have prevented German authorities from publicly sharing details about their inquiries, further complicating the matter. Meanwhile, Schmidt remains in detention, unable to contact his family, awaiting legal proceedings that could determine his future in the country he has called home for over 15 years. The broader implications of cases like Schmidt's cannot be ignored. Immigration attorneys have sounded the alarm about an increase in legal residents, particularly elderly individuals and frequent travelers, being flagged at airports for secondary inspection. In some instances, green card holders returning from prolonged stays abroad have been pressured to relinquish their residency under the threat of deportation. While U.S. law allows permanent residents to be away for up to a year without jeopardizing their status, repeated or extended absences are increasingly being used as justification for questioning their commitment to maintaining a U.S. domicile. Attorney Snehal Batra, managing partner at NPZ Law Group, notes that only an immigration judge has the authority to revoke a green card, not border officers. However, due to language barriers, intimidation tactics, and a lack of awareness about their rights, many permanent residents unknowingly sign away their legal status. This troubling trend has led immigration advocates to call for greater legal protections and awareness campaigns to educate green card holders about their rights when re-entering the U.S. Even beyond individual cases, the economic and diplomatic impact of these aggressive enforcement measures is raising concerns. Businesses that rely on immigrant labor and international expertise are increasingly worried that lawful residents may face undue restrictions or complications when traveling. Families are being separated for unclear reasons, adding to the climate of fear and uncertainty surrounding U.S. immigration policy. And international allies are watching closely, questioning whether their citizens who have legally immigrated to the U.S. could face similar treatment. The stakes are high. If legal permanent residents can be detained and interrogated without clear cause, what does this mean for the broader landscape of immigration policy? Will cases like Schmidt's become the norm, with green card holders increasingly forced to defend their right to remain in a country where they have lived, worked, and contributed for years? And as the political climate surrounding immigration continues to shift, will the United States see further erosion of its long-standing reputation as a nation that welcomes immigrants. For now, Schmidt's family waits. His mother continues to seek answers. His partner and child hope for his safe return. And immigration advocates brace for what could be the beginning of a new chapter in U.S. immigration enforcement, one where even those who have followed the rules find themselves at risk of losing everything. The question remains, if this could happen to Schmidt, who will be next?